everyone. It's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. Midweek, we're here. I just thought I'd do a quickie talking about the headlines and let you know that I'll be live tonight, the 11th, at Laughs Unlimited at 7 p.m. It's the World Series of Comedy. It's called WSOC, not to be confused with a South Carolina radio station or TV station. WSOC, the World Series of Comedy. They go and do these satellite competitions. This one's at Laughs Unlimited in SAC in Sacramento. Tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm in that round. And if I advance, I'll be performing either Thursday or Friday, and then the finals are on Saturday. So you can check me out doing stand-up. Now, what I'm doing now is not stand-up. I'm standing up, but I'm talking to you and talking about real stuff. But I do stand-up, jokes, setup, punch, jokes, funny, Filipino-y. World Series of Comedy tonight, June 11th, 7 p.m., Laughs Unlimited, Old Sacramento. A fun place to be on a Wednesday, a good club. Use the code word GIVE and say that I sent you. Go to the website at VIPTicketHub.com. VIPTicketHub.com/unlimited tickets for Laughs Unlimited. That's the place to go. Get your tickets, put down the code GIVE, do the drop down and say Emil Amok, referred you. And then you get a real 50% discount, I think. It's a big discount. So come see the show. The show starts at 7. I'll probably be up around, I'm like 13th or so. So that's like 65 minutes. So like maybe an hour and 20 minutes later, like 8:15, I might be up. But it's fun to do these competitions because if you know what comedy is like for those who aren't the big names, you go to clubs, you go on the road, and you're just trying to get to that point where you can say, all right, I'm going to go to America's Got Talent, or I'm going to go whatever, right? You do your thing. Takes nothing to put your shingle out and say, I'm a comedian. But these things they're like comedy festivals, right? They're fun things that newish comedians do to get better. And so it's maybe slightly better than an open mic. I don't know. I mean, you see some great comedians open mics just trying out new material. But this should be like a showcase set because people want to say, hey, look, I can go to the next rung. World Series of Comedy, June 11th, 7 p.m. Laughs Unlimited, Old Sac. Use the code word GIVE and go to VIPTicketHub.com/unlimited tickets for the Old Sac site. Put down GIVE, put down my name, Emil Amok, on the drop down, and come see me tonight. And if you can't make it, there's a little thing that's, for a live stream, for a donation of whatever amount. You can donate money, $1, $2, whatever, and then you can see it live. Not the same thing. It's like, oh, this is sort of so retro. It reminds me of COVID. What's next? We're going to do a comedy show from the parking lot, from cars. They did that. I didn't do that, but I did do Zoom shows. I guess this is a kind of Zoom show. Notice we're not playing our music. We're kind of going dry here, sort of like Utah. No, we're dry, and I think a lot of people say, "Oh, you put that music on, Emil. That's a crutch." No, that's not a crutch. Anyway, we're here tonight, 7 o'clock at the World Series of Comedy. All right, now last night I read a poem. I'm the poet laureate of my small little town. I'll read the poem probably Friday. It's about my father. It's a Father's Day poem. I'll read it on Friday or Saturday. I'll put it out there. It's about how Filipinos were treated, how my dad was treated. It honors him. And of course, it was a more serious poem than the kind of poems that I usually give at the city council meetings, but it's about real life Filipinos who are part of the community. So anyway, look forward to that. All right, now today, after the first couple days of this LA thing. First of all, don't call it riot. They're not riots. All right. They are, the police have a term, skirmish. They call it skirmishes, but they're not really riots. I mean, riots are like vast, not 6 blocks of downtown LA. And if you've ever been to LA and that area, like where the old Art Deco buildings are, I mean, it's kind of cool, real retro, but no one lives there, and everyone's life is elsewhere. So aside from the government, feds, county, municipal, there's nothing down there. And I know that I've driven down there, and if you take the wrong turn and you head out away from that downtown area, you realize how desolate it can really be. So it's mixed. I mean, it's a vast canvas for people who want to start trouble, and some people were there because they were protesting the ICE raids. That's what it is. Don't call it the LA riots. It's not the LA riot. Call it the ICE raid protest. ICE raid protest. IRP. Because that's what it is. The ICE, they're IRPs, IRPs. ICE raid protests that became violent because Donald Trump sent in the National Guard, and then he sent in the Marines, and all they can do is be G.I. Joe on the scene because they are not approved to do anything more than to protect federal buildings. And no one's, I mean, not from what I can see, is doing anything to damage federal buildings. I mean, they really are like a scarecrow. It's a scarecrow scene down there in LA, and at great expense, I might add, because the LA police, they're able to take care of everything. And that's the point of the lawsuit that the state has filed. Rob Bonta has filed. We'll see. They didn't accept the temporary restraining order, so maybe they'll have to go to court tomorrow and see if they can clarify what's going on. But in the meantime, everyone is just rattled. Everyone is rattled. Everyone is upset. It is not a good scene because Donald Trump made it that way. A headline from AP: raids in Southern California rattle immigrant communities, including those in the U.S. legally. And that was going to happen. There's a spillover when you bring in troops. People get scared. This is what the point is. What Donald Trump wanted to do, he wanted to scare everybody. And this thing is now growing from LA. There was some arrests in San Francisco. I mean, it's everywhere. There is immigration and a large community. They're going to strike, and they're going to show the country and the world, hey, we're taking this seriously. Well, everyone is taking this seriously. But here would be a better suggestion. Instead of clamping down and being mean about this and just playing dumb, why don't they just fix the problem of immigration? They had a bill a couple of years ago. Donald Trump didn't want it. I mean, he told people to vote it down so he'd have something to run on. He doesn't want to he's the guy who doesn't want to put himself out of business by doing good for the country and the government. He wants to keep the problem going, because if he ends the problem, then everyone's out of a job, and he's for self-preservation. I mean, remember that? I mean, they had a compromise for immigration. They didn't do it because Donald Trump wanted something to run on. And I think that if the Republicans were serious, they would try to come to some kind of compromise on immigration and fix the broken system. Instead, they'd rather bash heads. They'd rather show that they are powerful, they are strong, they are to be feared. That's the real sad thing about what's going on now, because this is replicated everywhere where there's an immigration appointment and people go in. They're fearful. And it's not just the legal ones, it's or not the undocumented ones, it's also the legal ones who are scared because they don't know what's going to happen. And overall, you build up this distrust, you build up chaos, and that's the operative word. That's what Donald Trump wants. He wants chaos. He's getting it. And people don't know any better. They'll say, hey, yeah, we want the chaos too. Get these guys out. This is the scapegoating of immigrants, and it's big, and it's what Donald Trump knows, and it's all he cares. He doesn't care about fixing the problem. Scapegoating, let's scapegoat the immigrants. That's what he's doing. And it's sickening to see, especially when you have these face-offs between protesters and the might, law enforcement might that is assembled there, and nothing happens. They're waiting for something to happen. They're waiting for curfew to be broken. They're waiting for someone to do something stupid on either side. It's possible. And that is the ridiculousness of this. It's just, why don't they just come together and try to fix a broken immigration system? They can't. They like the power that scapegoating immigrants get, legal and illegal, undocumented and documented. They like what that gives them politically. And people who just say, get it done, just do it. Law and order. Oh, and then they get the close-up shots. They don't do the wide shot showing, oh, this is just a tiny bit of Los Angeles, 6 blocks. Instead of showing the wide shot, showing how minuscule this action is. That's why LA police can handle this. They show the wide shot, or they show the tight shot, showing over the car. I heard some stupid congressman say, well, stop throwing rocks, stop. Well, okay, but that's not why you call out the National Guard. Stop throwing rocks. Okay, we had some cars damaged. There were some fires set. The town wasn't burning. LA wasn't burning. LA's not burning. They blew it up out of proportion, and they got what they wanted, and shame on them, Republicans. People called them on it, and they're happier now than they ever been because they feel like they have the political upper hand. We'll see. We'll see. Some other news: jury convicts Harvey Weinstein of top charge in the retrial of his landmark Me Too sex crimes case. So he was convicted of one of the top charges, but acquitted of another. And jurors were unable to reach a verdict on a third, but he's still convicted. So Harvey Weinstein, not a great day for him. What's targeted in Trump's request for $9.4 billion in budget cuts from Congress? He's looking to cancel $9.4 billion in spending already approved by Congress, which is not right because Congress appropriates. He can't cut them. So that's going to be cause a bit of a concern. And it's a small amount of 1.7 trillion that lawmakers okayed for the budget. So what's he doing? It looks like more politics over that to come. Members of the Fulbright Scholarship Board resigned, accusing Trump of meddling. Well, isn't this the case? Trump wants to meddle in everything. He wants to get it, you name it. He wants to be head of the Kennedy Center. There's going to be a big brouhaha at the Kennedy Center over Les Miserables tonight. The Fulbright board resigning, that is more of a way to irk higher ed, Harvard, all the top universities. And it's inappropriate, but this is what Trump feels he must do, which is someone needs to disabuse him of that. Veterans are divided over the Army's big parade being held on Trump's birthday. It's his 79th birthday. And, Trump is remaking the military, getting rid of He's cutting Department of Veterans Affairs, banning transgender troops. He's bringing back names of people who shouldn't be honored with bases. Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general. I'm telling you, this is not the spoils of victory. This is another overreach on the part of Trump. Of course, he can do it if no one stops him. Montana Supreme Court declares 2021 abortion restrictions unconstitutional. Okay, so the Supreme Court upheld a lower court ruling that struck down as unconstitutional several laws restricting abortion access, including a ban beyond 20 weeks of gestation. So this is what happens when everything is states' rights. See, Trump likes it when it's states' rights and it goes his way. He doesn't like it when it's states' rights and it goes against him. But either way, it's a confusing thing, a chaotic turn in America where you can't tell, well, what's legal? Where is it legal? When is it legal? Am I going to do anything in Montana? Well, probably not. But I mean, this is the thing. Is it legal in America? Well, you got to go through 50 states to see. That's chaotic. Let's see. This is a big one. Brian Wilson, Beach Boys visionary leader and Summer's poet laureate. Poet laureate. A lot of poet laureates. That's my tribe. Brian Wilson died, 82. Brian was not, I guess he was Summer's poet laureate. Dennis Wilson was sort of like the heartthrob of Summer. I guess that was his cousin. I'm not sure, cousin or brother. There were some cousins and brothers in that, the Wilsons and the Loves. I think Mike Love was a cousin. Anyway, I used to love the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys were, if you weren't into soul music, the Beach Boys were kind of like the option that you can get into the Beach Boys. And you had music, you know. They had Good Vibrations. They had In My Room. They had the first single I ever bought, the first 45, that's the round record with the big hole. The first single I ever bought was I Get Around. I don't know what. Round, round, get around. I get around. Yeah, get around. Woo, woo. I liked them. That was the first record. I said, I got to get I Get Around. I'm only hearing it about 100 times a day. I got to buy that record for myself. And of course, if I buy the record, I got to get a record player, Mom. And I'm only 9, but come on, I got to get a record player. And so we got a record player. I bought I Get Around. In My Room was in the back, was the B side. And I always liked the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys were always like, well, you were the Surfers or you were the, you were the other guys. It was always like that way. Where I grew up in the Mission District, the white middle class folks gravitated toward the Beach Boys, and the African American Latinos gravitated toward soul music. And at that time, there were a few artists that cut through and brought both groups together. The groups that brought people together in the Mission were people like Carlos Santana. He brought people together, Mission High School. But then there was Sly Stone, who also died within the last couple of days. And Sly Stone, he was it. Someone said Sly Stone came before James Brown. No, James Brown was first. I met James Brown. James Brown was older, first, different than Sly Stone. Sly Stone was kind of rock, but soul, definitely soul, rhythm and blues, funk. I would say before there was P-Funk, Funkadelic, there was Sly Stone. Sly Stone was crossover soul music. And he started as a DJ. He started as a DJ at K-Soul in San Francisco. I remember listening to him, thinking, who is this guy? Just talking on the radio. He was cool. Sly Stone. He died. He passed. And he was kind of like a cultural figure. Everyday people, thank you for letting me be myself again. Everyday people, big song. The greatest hits of Sly Stone. Hot Fun in the summertime. Oh, I mean, it's June, right? You got to be playing that song. Is it Hot Fun? Hot something in the summertime. I mean, that was a kind of like a funky kind of love song to summer. Anyway, I'll miss Sly Stone. It was kind of odd in the last few years of his life. But, a lot of these guys are hitting that age where they're passing and the soundtrack of your life. Brian Wilson, Beach Boys, Sly Stone, Everyday People. I mean, that brought people together. That was a protest song, a war song. Carlos Santana, I don't know how his health is doing, but between Black Magic Woman and the Abraxas album and the first album, with the Lion's Head, Santana, they were, and they revived several times throughout the years. But those guys are getting older, and their passing is going to be something. I noticed. All right, I'll cop to it. They give me the AARP Journal on the front page. Rod Stewart. And Rod Stewart is 80, and he said, "Do you think I'm sexy?" Was like putting like a pink toilet seat over my head. Well, better a pink toilet seat than a pink toilet seat cover. Rod Stewart still going strong. So is Jagger, right? All right. So what else? I guess those are the big things. Here's a question that trending now on AP. Should you let pets sleep next to you? And next to it is, does it even matter what the experts say? Lots of pet owners let their animals sleep in bed with them, which usually disrupts sleep, but many would say it's worth it, and researchers don't necessarily disagree, meaning this is not a states' rights issue. It's not a federal issue. It's whatever you want, right? I don't know. I keep my cat out. I don't want my cat, because my cat climbs all over me. And it's like, cat, really? You're on my chest. You're on my head. Do you have one of those cats? Cat, you're on my head. Get off my head. Now, the dogs, the little dogs are like that. So I just banish them and put them out. And yeah, that's the best thing. Go out, cat, dog. But it's cute. Look, if they behave, they have their little sanctuary to the side of the bed. That's good. They don't bother anybody. But basically, I would say, all right, are they clean? Are they clean? Oh, I got a cat story to tell you. My cat, usually comes, hey, here's a bird I got. This is worse than that. I'll tell it another time because we're coming up to our time. Hey, don't forget, Emil Amok at the World Series of Comedy tonight, June 11th, 7 p.m. Laughs Unlimited at Old Sac. Go to VIPtickethub.com/unlimited tickets. It's Laughs Unlimited, so it's unlimited tickets. VIPtickethub.com. And go to that site, and you can put the code GIVE, G-I-V-E, say Emil Amok, me, sent you. Tonight's a show, 7 o'clock. I'm like 13. I'll do my 5 minutes, make people laugh. Maybe you'll laugh. Or maybe you'll just hold up a protest sign. No, whatever you do, Laughs Unlimited, Old Sac, it should be fun tonight. All right, now, if I advance, I might also be there Thursday and Friday. or Thursday or Friday. And then if I advance to the finals, I get to play Saturday. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a crapshoot. I'm in the what they call the wild card World Series of Comedy. Great little competition they run all over the country. They do it at Laughs here in Sacramento. 7 p.m. tonight. Laughs Unlimited, Old Sac. Code GIVE, G-I-V-E. Say Emil Amok sent you and go to VIPTicketHub.com. All right. That's it. That's it. We like to close with a little loving kindness because that's what the world needs. I think Jackie DeShannon said that. Did Dionne Warwick say that too? What the world needs now? Love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What? Okay. All right. This isn't karaoke news, Emil. Hey, someone said, "Hey, why are you breaking news?" We're breaking news because hey, it's a Filipino American talking about the news. That's news. Don't say this is a big week for Filipino Americans, by the way. Nicole Scherzinger identified herself as a Filipino Ukrainian Hawaiian, an FUH, a pho. She's out there, won a Tony, and Darren Criss, who is San Francisco, ACT. Winners of 2 big Tony Awards. Congratulations to them. And they're half, a quarter Filipino. Whatever. They've got a little Filipino. We claim them all. Along with Haley Steinfeld, who got married. Congratulations, Haley Steinfeld. She's Jewish, Black, and Filipino. Married Josh Allen. Boy, they're going to have a great, their kid. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, their kid's going to be a quarterback. Maybe maybe the next coming of Roman Gabriel. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, so a little loving kindness. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Hey, don't forget, June 11th, 7 p.m. Tonight. Laughs Unlimited. Use the code GIVE. Say I sent you. VIPTicketHub.com. But get them online because you get the discount. If you show up, they'll say, sorry. Go online. Tell your friends. Share the code. Share the link. Emil Amok here. Emil Guillermo. Till next time.